All Fire, No Smoke is our candid conversation as two military aviators sharing the unique experiences we've had in combat, reconnaissance, and demonstration flying.
Through personal stories, technical details, and laughter, we explore the challenges of balancing leadership, motherhood, professional life, all while offering inspiring insights for those who are trying to strike that work-life balance.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by guests on All Fire, No Smoke are their own and do not necessarily represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the All Fire, No Smoke production team, including hosts, producers, directors, and consultants. The content presented here is for entertainment and general information purposes only. The All Fire, No Smoke name, trademark, and logos, and all forms of content are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service, and cannot be used without the express written consent of All Fire, No Smoke.
So I started a new job. A lot has happened since the last time that we were here. And I now live in Las Vegas, where it's sunny all the time. And we've actually had a really nice summer. I think it's probably better here than it is back in Wisconsin because we don't have the humidity. But I am using my fighter pilot skills again in service to my country, this time as a contractor. Unfortunately, it's not a flying job, although I'm trying to get back into flying. But I have this great office of really amazing people. And there's a person in our office who does personnel recovery. And there's another gal in the office who is intel, and we all kind of like to give each other a hard time. And last week we were having a little family lunch together on Friday while we were doing our work, and the intel friend turns to the personnel recovery friend, and she goes, "Hey, have you ever actually saved anybody?" She's just taking this jab at him.
Wow.
And she's eating her hamburger, and literally as soon as she says, "Have you ever actually saved anybody?" she takes a bite of her hamburger and starts choking. It's
I would have let her.
it's your
I
time
would have
to
let her.
shine.
I would have let her choke for a couple of seconds and
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
actually, it's gonna be my second save right now.
I think she probably started laughing and inhaled it a little bit, and she just kind of went, and it got quiet really quick, and then and she ended up coughing it up, but it was yeah, because now this is your time to shine, prove it that you have these skills that you can save people. So yeah, I just got a really good chuckle about it, and it made me laugh all weekend long while I was thinking about it. So yeah, that was pretty funny. But what's up with you, Merrill?
First of all, that's awesome. Being in Sin City, I like Sin City.
Come
It's a good
visit.
place. It's a good place. You can be good in Sin City. Um, nah, I've just been. It's summertime, so the kids are home. My husband just retired recently from Lawrence
Yay,
Livermore
congrats.
Labs. Yay, he's home too.
So when does school start?
Yeah. When's the second job start? Nah,
Yeah.
school starts next week. So I just picked up my son from camp, and he had a blast. He was up at Santa Cruz Mountains. He was doing some trapeze classes, swinging and doing flips and backflips, legit, like swing across the ropes and getting
Wow.
caught. So, I love it because it's that moment where you send your kid off and they just go do things, come back more confident. They have this air about them, they're a little more mature. So I love that. My daughter hung out with us for a little bit. She's more focusing on work, getting ready for sixth grade. So it's just been busy. And for me personally, I just bought some office space that I'm going to be renting out and working out in. This is not the office right now. It's actually my son's home, so I have to stay here. But I'm excited about that, the endeavor, more creation, content creation, and I see the benefits of that already. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked going into middle August, September. It's going to be awesome.
So you're just a boss bee, even more of a boss bitch than you were before. Because now you are a property owner, office space. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a different. I've learned a lot on the commercial property side, so it's been really good just growing, and I have a couple of other irons in the fire creative wise, and those are coming up. So hopefully by September there'll be some things in my hand that I could deliver to people to see, and I can't wait to show everyone everyone those things.
I would say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you're not an old dog. So,
No, not an
but
old
you're
dog,
just
old
continuing to
dragon.
put tools in the in the toolbox. I mean, I
Always,
think
oh,
don't
always,
dragons live for like thousands of years, so you're
pretty
like a,
much, and
a
that's how
baby
I'm acting.
dragon. Just a
That's
teeny
how I'm.
tiny baby dragon.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So let's see. Our fans, they haven't heard from us in a while. It's great to be back. It's awesome. What's been on your mind lately?
Well, I mean, the world feels like it's falling apart lately. Uh, you know, I without being too political and all of the views that we express here are our own and not representative of the Department of Defense or any companies that we have or ever will work for. Um, but without like getting into anything, I've just I really want to walk away from the news cycle, but then I feel like I can't leave it. So one thing that I've been trying to do is look at two different news sources when I see one article on something, and it's usually provides like two completely different pictures of the exact same thing. So I think that's important for people who, if you're like me and you're like, man, I just really can't look away. Like, take one thing, like if you take, for example, the FIFA World Cup trophy presentation and you look at a right wing media outlet and then look at a different media outlet, you'll see two completely different takes on the situation. So that's what I've been trying to do to make sure that I'm not too biased on one side or the other, and that I try to get the idea of what is floating around out there in our country because it's hard. Like we swore an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and that's like the most important thing. And just because I'm retired doesn't mean I don't honor that oath anymore. So it's really hard to see it from that perspective. But I just have faith that in the end our democracy will be strong and the Constitution will reign supreme. How about you?
Yes, I can't agree with you more. There are a couple of places that you can go, um, and for purposes of this, I'm just gonna give a couple of shout outs. My man, Ward Carroll on YouTube, he has a YouTube channel. He does a lot of military news, and he just gives the facts. I love it. Like I love when he pops in my feed, and he's I've done a podcast with him. His name is Mooch. He is just cool. He's a F-14 Rio. He just tells it like it is. He just gives it straight, and you form your own opinion. He gets his information from, which is a great source because I've talked to other people, Ground News, which tells you which way um, articles are leaning, if they're left leaning, right leaning, or in the middle. So, I think it's very important, as you said, for people to get different perspectives and people to understand a bigger picture of everything. Not only do I agree with you for that, but I also agree, and you know, focus on you and what you can do to be better and uplift others. That's really huge to me right now, and that's a lot what I talk about in terms of just my social media platform. Like, stop being in everyone else's business. I tell my daughter that all the time. She's like, "Why can't I do this?" I said, "Because you're not minding your own business. Like your business is falling apart over here, and you're talking about everything else. Focus on you and really just just work on yourself because if you're good, then that'll go out and reach other people. If you're very if you can really look at different perspectives and use that type of emotional intelligence to like just be in someone else's position for a moment and kind of just when they're talking really actively listen, that just makes the world of difference. You don't have to agree with them. Just say I understand you. And I still don't agree with you, but I understand you. Like you can still do that. You can still remember like when we'd fly, if we didn't like someone or didn't like what someone said, at the end of the day, we'd go to the wardroom or the heritage room. We'd have a beer and we talk it out. And at the end, we're still
Yeah.
friends. We can agree to disagree, but we can still have a beer and we can still watch each other's backs. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's anyway.
Well, and spoiler alert for our fans, we're gonna have, the first woman Thunderbird, Nicole Malachowski, on soon, and it'd be interesting to talk to her about this, but definitely on the Thunderbirds, you're like, "Man, there's people that you cannot stand." Like, 99% of the people are great, but there's just a couple, and you have to see them almost day in and day out, and, I got really good at hitting the reset button. Like, every single day I walked in, I'm like, "Alright, whatever happened yesterday is yesterday, and we have to work together," and it's, like, literally life or death, like, there's a lot at stake here. So, like, we're just gonna start over, and maybe we'll make it through today harmoniously, and maybe we'll just have to be professional at the end of the day.
Absolutely. There's too many lives on the line, too much taxpayer dollars that go into something. Like, you can't be petty. Like, there's no room for pettiness, and there's no room we're always true professionals. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna suck it up until we get into that heritage room, then it's gonna go down.
Right, and that's exactly why politics are not supposed to be part of the military, right? Like,
Right.
we serve whatever administration is in place, we serve the Constitution of the United States of America, like, above and everything else, but we try to keep our differences, leave them at the door because we're working together for a common mission. That's what's
100%.
important.
I couldn't agree more. So
So, I wanted to ask you about, how's your speaking? Like, we've got a couple side hustles between us, and, you're a highly sought after speaker. How's that going? And how is, the kind of the current events affecting that? Because you're obviously a really unique person and represent what, DEI, all the good things about that. How's your business going?
I would say there was a little bit of a slowdown. So, just from my perspective. And so that didn't slow me down. Because again, to be honest, I'm actually quite grateful because it gave me the bandwidth to do these other avenues. So one was to get that commercial property, and that took some time. That took a couple of months. And then also, um, I'm working on another book that's gonna be coming out soon,
Sweet.
which allowed me to actually interview people. I'm working with an illustrator, uh, great times, and also to work on some other things for children, to actually give my time back to underserved communities. So I do a lot of stuff here in Sacramento, Destination Aviation with Darcy Brewer, who runs the air shows. So I don't even think it's a setback. I just think it's a pause to do the other things and plant seeds in other areas and watch those grow. So I welcome those pauses. I welcome those slight delays. I will be honest with you, next year it is already picking up. So
Mhm.
when you have administration come in and they have their thoughts about things, it may, jostle the industry in terms of what they're going to do. So a lot of vacillation back and forth, but you can already tell that people are getting back into a groove in the new normal. And with that new normal, they know how to act or present. And so, I mean, yeah, I'm already booked up till I'm being booked out till next September, October. So there's
Nice.
just a lot of things in between. So no, I love this time. It was actually perfect. So no complaints.
Yeah, I think when you've got a lot of different facets to your diamond, if you will, there's, like, a lot of different places that you can work on. I also have 3 new children's books that are gonna be coming out in the next, like, 6 months or so, published by the Curious Company, and they're called High Flyers, and one's about guess the Thunderbirds. The Blue Angels is
Absolutely.
another one, and the, Red Arrows. So, Thunder Mouse is doing great, still out there, and then I had another book about curious about fighter jets. So that's exciting and be able to reach out to kids that way. And yeah, it's like you said, you can put your focus on other things and you can multitask, and there's always something to do for sure.
Absolutely. My big thing right now is really just I think these last 6 months, it just made me really think about why people are behaving the way they are and how we can reach them in certain ways and how social media can make a play into that. AI is changing the playing field very, very quickly in ways that I don't think people are prepared for. And so I love the fact as a Gen Xer, yes, I'm old, that I can be able to decode some of that for people and do it in different ways using the expertise of other people. So I'm not trying to be cryptic. Just stand by. It'll be coming out. But I just love that you and I are just, man, nothing can get us down. It's funny how the whole, I mean, I'll say it, the DEI or the rebranding of DEI into a negative way for people or for people of color, for women. Look, we've always been working hard at a slight disadvantage. We're highly creative. So it doesn't matter what you throw at us. If we're creative, we're creative. And we're going to do something and we're going to end run whatever you're doing. If you put a wall in front of us, it's just like a maze. We're going to take another direction and we're going to go left, right, over or under or through whatever you put up because that's how we live. And
Yeah.
to me, it's just like, I've seen this before. I already have the tools for that. It's not going to stop me or you.
That's right. We've had resilience. I don't know what is the right way to say it. It's been beaten into you. Like it's like it's a dog chasing its tail, right? The more bad things happen, the more resilient you get. The more resilient you get, the more you can handle bad things happening to you. So kind of going round and around, and I'll share with our listeners some of my son who lived with me for 10 years, and I basically raised on my own as 16, and he decided he wanted to go live with his dad. That was like major. He's going to be a junior, so it's a couple of years prior to him like leaving high school. But man, it was really tough and a huge adjustment and a big change. And I just look for those glimmers every day. And here in Las Vegas, I live really close to the Red Rock Conservation Area. So I'd take my dog and go hit the trails and watch the sunrises and the sunsets and just really getting back to paying more attention to me. I think there's probably moms out there that realize sometimes you put yourself second or third or fourth or whatever last place is, and you spend all that energy on your kids. So even though it was really hard, I tried to be resilient and just really sit down and think what makes me happy. I've been meeting people because I'm, back in a new place, and they're like, "What do you do for fun?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like all my spare time was, at the baseball field or the swimming pool or making dinners or running my son around. So it's kind of fun to rediscover myself. And I'm also like, I'm turning 50 uh, in a couple of weeks. So it's like, I feel like this is really like, the midpoint or kind of the second beginning. So it's been a really, I don't know, great transitional time, but definitely having to use the resilience word in my life.
So I think that's amazing. I was talking to a bunch of ladies one night, and I said to them, as a lot of us are mothers, a lot of us are women or caretakers or something, and sometimes we lose our identity, and especially around the 45-year mark to about 55, we're going through a lot of changes, a lot of hormonal changes, and one of the things I always say, you've got to put yourself first. If you continue to not, you will not only lose your identity, but you might get sick or something, and the people that are counting on you, you will not be there for them. And so, um, I smile when you say this because I think you're an amazing mom. And teenage years, I haven't. My kids are not there yet. My son will be 13 this year. Um, I am sure it is gonna be a big bear, and so it is difficult, but I'm sure he will come back around because he came from you and he's not that big a knucklehead. He's just he's being a goober right now. But, yeah, sometimes, I don't know, for them to come back, you gotta let them go, and,
Yeah.
as part of it, you need to join the I Don't Care Club. If
Yeah.
you've seen that on
Yeah. Things we
Instagram.
don't care about.
Yeah, the We Don't
I'm sure
Care.
I'm also going through menopause too. So that's always great.
Yes, and so as a person that has gone through it, embrace it. It's fun. You will, out of the fire, literally from the hot flashes, will emerge this beautiful phoenix. So it's going. celebrate the transition, celebrate the times. There are a lot of people there with you in that foxhole, and we're all gonna make it together. So,
One of my favorite quotes, and it's like one of my favorite mottos that I think it's like the Phoenix, but I have a shirt that has it on it and I put it on my gym at home and it's decide to rise, right? Like things can get you down and things can keep piling on, but you have to make that decision, decide that it's time to get up and decide to rise, decide to keep going forward. So I love that.
100%. So, if you need me to come out to Vegas, since Vegas
Yeah,
is my
train
jam.
me. Get out here.
Yeah.
Let's go to the gym.
Call me up. I'm like, "Let's go. Let's
All right.
run."
Put another plate on that bar. Put a couple more plates on there, right?
Oh, that's all right. So,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Big birthday hat on.
Brian, stop dancing like that. I did get that. I saw what you did. Yeah, Brian, stop it. So, for all the listeners out there, I know times may be hard in some way, some capacity, but again, my call of action or my recommendations to you is to focus on yourself and how you can do something just incrementally better. Whether it's the addition of working out, like for me, I think since May, I've just made it a priority. I in the morning, I'll get up somewhere between quarter to 6 and 6 o'clock, and I'm gonna go work out. And even I will put off sexy time to go do my thing
No cardio
because
then, just strength training.
yes, we're not doing it's yeah, I need strength training. I don't need the cardio. I just need the strength training. So, I do that because it's my time for myself because the rest of the day is for my kids, everyone else. But take that moment for yourself, whether it's just sitting quietly, whether it's making a meal for yourself. Take time for yourself and focus on yourself for a while and how you can improve better. That is my recommendation and call to action.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I have like a good story that happened to me that kind of has a call to action or just a good reminder and some perspective, right? Even in bad times when you're doing those little things like working out, like you never know who's watching, right? And who you're affecting and going out there and doing good things for other people. I did not get to go to Oshkosh this year, the greatest, biggest air show in the world, and a lot of my friends were there, and they're all sending me videos of like the pink jet going by, and like the air show and the fireworks and everything. It's amazing. But I didn't get to go. One of my friends sent me a picture of this little girl, and she was maybe 10 years old, and she's wearing this t-shirt, and it was like the front had these like they were almost like cranes with like this art deco, but they looked like thunderbirds, and there were 6 of them flying in a delta formation. And then he sent me another picture. It was the back of her shirt, and it had the number 3 on it. So this little girl's walking around with a 3, and I was like, "Oh, that's great. Like, get her number, and I'll send her a book." Or I said, "Oh, just send me her information. I'll send her a book." He goes, "I don't know who she is." Like, I thought she was a family friend. I thought it was someone that he knew or he met, and it was just a little girl who was walking around the air show who had seen me in the past because he's like, "Oh, I have a friend, and she was 3." And she's like, "Yeah, I know. That's, like, why I'm wearing this shirt." But it wasn't maybe I've met her, like, briefly once, um, but you never know when those things are gonna come back, right? And when you're just out there doing your job and someone's, like, watching you, that it could have a profound impact on them and change the way things are going and be something positive in their life. So it was really cool. So if you are that mom of that little girl who's wearing the shirt, send us a message on Instagram because I'd love to reach out to her and meet her.
That is awesome. I love that. I love those type of stories. Um, yeah, I love the little impacts that we have on people. Um, I think if I were to tell a short story, I put it on my feed. It was about a gentleman that I met during the air show. I didn't go to Oshkosh either, and it's the 70th anniversary for the U2, 70 years of 70,000, and I didn't go out there. But it's okay. I got to celebrate with my U2 brothers and sisters here on Friday, which was great. But I think this summer, one of the coolest moments that I knew that I was truly impacting people is I met a young man at the Beale Air Show. He's 18 years old. He was incarcerated at 17 for shooting someone, and he was a model, person in the system. He was going through a program, and he got out to go to the air show because one of his mentors that were assigned to him was a lady that worked in the tower. Her name was Elaine, and she was there when I was flying U-2s. And so we saw each other, and she was telling me how much of an impact I had on her, and I met this young man through her. And as we were talking, we did a quick interview, and I looked into the camera and I said, Darcy, we need to get this young man incentive flight for him to fly in an aircraft. He wanted to be a lineman, like an electrical lineman, but I was like, hey, we're gonna get him from the electrical side to the flight line. And so she came through, and I got to meet with him about a month later to hand him the certificate. And it just shows that, Blaze, you and I have the power or the ability to influence and change directions of people and give them opportunities that they may not be able to see. And I love to be able to do that through just our casual, meetings with people, conversations. It just somehow it manifests either months down the road or years down the road into something beautiful. And I hope more people think that way, that it's the interactions that you have with people. And you may not have much in common, but maybe there's that one little, silver line that connects you to that eventually down the road you'll be able to help them or maybe network for them or do something to impact their life. And I love it. It's
It's
beautiful.
amazing. And I think we almost had me crying for the first time on our podcast, but I locked it down. So that was really sweet. And it's just that perspective, right? We get so in the weeds that you gotta back out and see the bigger picture.
Right.
But I love your story, and I think together, um, in season 1, we were able to inspire quite a few people, but we've got some really, really inspiring, amazing guests coming up. I mentioned earlier we've got the first woman Thunderbird, Nicole Malachowski. She's also an amazing, highly sought after speaker. I think she's in like the national or like the Universal Women Hall of Fame or something crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
she's like in the Galaxy, Guardian of the Galaxy
yeah,
Hall
she's
of Fame.
just fabulous, and she was she was a number 3, also like me, and I got to meet her when she was a cadet at the Air Force Academy. She's a couple classes ahead of me, so I've known her for a long time, and she has graciously agreed to be on the show with us. Another amazing first is Captain Teresa Claiborne, who was the first Black woman to graduate from Air Force pilot training.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that story when she comes on, but super inspiring. She had to retire from United last year because she reached the max age for an airline pilot, but she's still out there inspiring kids and people to achieve their best and work
Through Sisters
together.
of the Sky, right? So
Yep.
her organization. And then we also have coming up is Heather, I'm going to say her original call sign, Princess Fox, Colonel, friend of mine, fellow U2 pilot. She is probably a younger sister of mine in the U2 community, but she did some amazing things in the Air Force. Number one being General Dunford, uh, Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff, speechwriter. So she's got a great perspective. She pinned on Colonel 2 below the zone. And so
Wow.
she's sharp. She's amazing. She was the wing commander at Beale Air Force Base and then worked as an instructor over at the National War College. And so she is recently retired, and she has her finger in the pulse of what's going on there. And it would be a very interesting conversation. She'll give a lot of good insights. I can't
Can't
wait.
wait for that later.
Like there's this like actually I would just say peas. But I'd be like, Blaze, I'll see you later.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by guests on All Fire No Smoke are their own and do not necessarily represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the All Fire No Smoke production team, including hosts, producers, directors, and consultants. The content presented here is for entertainment and general information purposes only. The All Fire No Smoke name, trademark, and logos, and all forms of content are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service, and cannot be used without the express written consent of All Fire No Smoke.